how do you fix a broken relationship after you've hurt them?
Yes.
How do you fix a broken relationship when you know, like, oh, that was me. That
Yes.
was me. That was my fault. How do
Yes.
you
Yes.
how do you go back and fix a broken relationship after you've hurt them?
Fixing relationships after you've done something to hurt another individual, that is the bread and butter of counseling. So much of what happens in counseling is about broken relationships. So for the person who sent this question in, I'd love to give you a big hug and a pat on the back, because it takes a lot of honesty and humility to say, hey, I might be the problem in the relationship. So, in Taylor Swift's big song, the problem is probably me right here. And a lot of times in relationships, we like to point the finger at other people, but a lot of times we do need to point the finger back at us because it is something we've done. Maybe we've not kept somebody's confidence and we've gossiped about somebody behind their back. Maybe we've left somebody out or made fun of them or done something to harm or hurt the relationship. That's what happens to broken and sinful people. We don't always make the right choices. So the encouragement I would tell you is this, is you're not alone, in relationships for the vast majority of the time are almost always repairable. Meaning when a relationship experiences a rupture, there's always a repair. So when relationships rupture, look for the repair. How can you repair the relationship? And I can just say in this case, one of the ways that you can repair the relationship is by owning that you did hurt them. So in Matthew 7:1, Jesus says, hey, before you go confront somebody else, get the log out of your own eye. And maybe this is one of the ways you get the log out of your own eye, is you go to that friend and say, hey, I really messed up. And I know you might not want to be my friend. I know it might take some time for us to rebuild trust, but I really screwed up. I think I messed up and I need to ask your forgiveness. So seek out repair. And then ultimately what I would tell you is that our hope to repair a relationship is grounded in Jesus Christ and what he does for us. When you think about relationships and hurt and relationships breaking apart, our relationship with God was severely broken and harmed by our sin. But it was in the midst of our sinfulness that God still pursued us. And in Romans 5:8, Paul tells us, he says, showed us his love in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So God pursues us even in the midst of all of our sin, our weakness, our mess ups. And that gives us an encouragement that we can then go and repair other relationships and really embody that type of movement that the Lord shows us in Christ.
Yeah. I found just in my own life that saying you're sorry
Yeah.
is like a muscle.
Yes, it is a
That,
must.
like, it gets easier the more you do it. Like, the first time you have to do that in a relationship, you're like, oh, this is awful.
Yeah.
This is awful. This is the
Yes.
worst. But the more you can learn, even in small things,
Yeah.
to say you're sorry,
Yeah.
there's still going to be those times that, like, you really love that person and you really hurt them. And it is so hard
Yeah.
to go to them
It is.
and admit what you did wrong. And it will always be hard. Running a marathon will always be hard, no matter how many times you've trained, how many times you've run. But I have found that in like the normal course of relationships, if we can learn to say that we're sorry in small instances, it like grows that culture in your friendship or it grows that culture with your parents or something like that. And it gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier. And then the rebuilding goes a little bit faster too.
Yes, absolutely. Exercise that muscle. Practice, practice, practice.
When you let so many things build up, then it definitely gets hard at the end.
And it can feel really overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's a good starting point.
Yeah. So we gotta work on those I'm sorry. I'm
Yes.
sorry muscles because they don't come naturally to us.
They don't.